Hey, so in this video, I want to talk about 5 ways that you can be a successful real estate professional without having to work nights and weekends. Most of us that get into the real estate industry didn't get in it to work 60 hours a week, 80 hours a week, 100 hours a week, or maybe you're not working that many hours, but you're always on call. You had plans for Saturday night, with your spouse, and then a phone call comes in, somebody wants to go look at a house, and there went your Saturday afternoon, right? So I'm going to share with you, some things in here. I wrote down 5 things here that have worked for me and have worked for a lot of other people throughout the country. These are just things that seem to work in every market, no matter where you're living. And I think it's totally possible to have a successful real estate career and also have a life outside of real estate, right? If that's you, you found the right channel. Please consider liking and subscribing. And I want to share with you just 5 things that I think you could do. I've been coaching and training real estate agents for about the last 10 years or so. And I found that most of the big changes are actually small changes, right? Heard a saying years ago that small hinges swing big doors, right? And so for most of you watching this video or watching the videos on this channel, you don't need like major changes in what you're doing. You need some little small changes here or there. And you make a little small changes over time and it adds up. So number one that I wrote down, if you want to have a successful real estate career without working nights and weekends, you've got to understand that buyers eat up your calendar, right? You meet with a buyer today, you get them approved with your lender of choice, you get them to sign a buyer broker agreement, whatever it is in your city, whatever it is in your state, some kind of paperwork, which by the way, like I would never show any houses to anybody unless they're willing to come to the office. It's the only buyer I will work with. But buyers will eat up your calendar. What if you had 10 pre-approved buyers ready to go right now, or you could have 10 listings ready to hit the market? Which one would you take? Well, if you took 10 buyers, you're going to have buyers that want to go see houses at the same times, right? And normally that's going to be after hours. That's going to be on their lunch breaks. That's going to be on their weekends, right? On their time off. Their time off is not your time off. And so if you're wanting to work nights and weekends, a simple pivot you can make is to just simply work with buyers less, right? Because when you sign up with buyers, you don't know, am I going to have to show them 5 houses? Am I going to have to show them 10 houses, 20 houses, 50 houses before they make a decision? Or am I going to show them a bunch of houses and they don't even make a decision at all? And I've given up my nights and my weekends and my Sunday afternoon and my nap time and my time that I could have been fishing and my time I could have been on a date night. Unfortunately, when you work with buyers, you are at their mercy. So if you want to have a successful real estate career without working nights and weekends, you got to make the pivot to being more of a listing agent. Not saying you got to go exclusively, but that's a way to go. So number 2, listings create leverage, and this is why when you've got a seller that wants to list their house with you, you schedule a photographer to go out. At least this is what I do. I schedule a photographer to go out. That photographer does the photos today. I get the photos tonight at some point, and that means tomorrow that listing is going live. Well, that means like if I plan that ahead of time, I know what day the photographer's going. I've got time to put all the stuff in the MLS, right? Is it electric, water heater or gas water heater? Well, I can put that in at a time that works for me. I'm not on call to do that. I've got time. I can pencil that into my calendar and I can make that work. So I can put that listing on the market when it makes sense to me. And then, I can let all the other agents in the local area go out and show that house to their buyers on nights, on weekends. I can let them prepare the offers. Really, in a lot of ways, the buyer agents in this area are working for me. When I put a listing on the market, I'm putting the listing on the market. They're out there working for me every day, every night, putting those offers together, getting people approved, getting the inspections lined up, going over the inspections. They work for me. And when you've got people doing things for you, it creates leverage. Okay, so I try to put at least one listing per week on the MLS, one new listing. Sometimes it's two or three. A lot of weeks it's two or three. But if I just do one a week and I let other people work the buyers, I let other people take the calls. I even have some agents here that work out of my office here that are willing to go do the showings on my listings, right? And we work those out 50-50. You know, they're happy to go have a showing. They don't have as much going on as me, or maybe they're part-time and nights and weekends is the only time they have. So I utilize them as showing agents, okay? So that I can just, think about like a horse race. Like they put the blinders on the horses. I want my blinders on so I can just keep focusing on what gives me the best outcome for me. And if I want to work nights and if I want to work nights and weekends and just be on call all the time, I'm going to go a totally different way. But if I can just get one listing on the market every single week, things seem to work out pretty well for me, production wise, income wise, closings wise. I'll let everybody else chase the buyers. Sometimes the buyers make decisions, sometimes they don't. And so that's what I found that works for me. Now, easiest way I found to get listings, which is number 3, is cash offers start conversations. So I have a technology, a system where I can put virtually any address in the country into this system, upload some photos, put in the information, click submit, and we have big time like institutional investors from all over the country that will look at those photos, that will run their own numbers, will come up with what they need to do to renovate that property or get it ready as a rental or to resell it. They run their numbers, they submit their offers into the system, and then I call those sellers and I let them know, hey, I've got 2 offers for you, right? So it's a totally different conversation. Instead of calling a for sale by owner and saying, hey, I can list your house for you and get it sold, it's a totally different way to start a conversation and start a relationship when it starts off with, hey, I'm Phil Duke Jr. with eXp Realty. I just wanted you to know I put your property into my system a few days ago, and I've actually got you 2 cash offers in hand right now, and I'm required by law to present all written offers. I just need to get these over to you. What's the best email address for me to send them to? Right? Easiest way that I have found, and anybody with a real estate license can have access to these institutional buyers. And in fact, I've recorded a little masterclass or recorded training. If you click the link below, you can see how that portal works, how you can get access to it, and how you can leverage it. So calling for sell by owners is just one way, and that's what I will show you inside the masterclass. It's probably the easiest way that I've ever found to take listings, is just to plug in for sell by owners, wait a day or two to get the offers, and then call them and let them know you have offers. Super simple, very low pressure, and that's to me what's worked for me, and allows me to do that when I want to. Right? I can put in a couple properties a day, and then tomorrow I can call those same properties and I can let them know what the offers look like, explain the offers to them, and it allows me to do it during the day, not at night, not on the weekends. I can literally come to this office, I can throw some properties in today, and while I'm waiting on those offers to come in, I'm calling the sellers that I put in yesterday and I'm letting them know that we've got offers for them. Again, you can get all that, exactly what I'm doing. You can see it in action if you click the link below and sign up for that masterclass, okay? And by the way, like, I don't have a coaching program to sell. I'm not going to ask you to swipe your card and pay me for a coaching program or an online course, anything like that. Just if you're watching this channel, then you're my kind of people. So would like to help my kind of people, and it'll come back to me some way or another. So number 4, unfortunately, most of the people that I present those offers to, they don't take those cash offers. They're slightly discounted. They're not lowball offers, but most sellers don't want to let it go unless they at least try to get more, right? So normally those conversations end with pivoting to a listing. Hey, we've already got these offers in hand. these aren't going anywhere. Why don't we just put your house on the market? Let's give it, 7 to 10 to 30 days. See what kind of activity we get, see what kind of offers we get. If we can sell it that way, great. If not, you've always got these backup offers. And you, as the agent, you win either way, because these institutional buyers, like, these are like major investor, entities buying hundreds of houses a month all across the United States. They will pay you a commission if they end up buying the property, and it's a really good commission. In most cases, it's a 4% commission is the way it works out. So, if they take the investor offer, you get paid. If they want to put it on the market, you're the listing agent. You get a good offer, the seller accepts that offer, it closes, you get paid either way, right? So I like working on things that allow me to do it when I want. I'm not on call. I'm not having to go nights and weekends and show houses. We're literally just taking the photos off of Zillow, putting them into this system, and we've got investors from all over the country that are giving us offers. We present the offers. If they don't feel really, really good about the offers, and a lot of times they do, you'd be surprised how often they accept the offer, because it's cash, it's guaranteed, it's as is, it's no closing costs. So it's a powerful way to do it, but you can win either way, right? So with listings, it's just more of a guaranteed thing. And so that's kind of how I'm doing it. Most sellers want top dollar. And so we've got a way that we can help them do that as listing agents, right? Let's put it on the open market. Let's put it on the MLS. Let's see what kind of local buyers we can get. Let's see if we can beat the offers we already have in hand. If so, great. We got another sale. We got credit for it in the MLS. If they take the cash offer, you win that way too. So 5 ways, 5 things that you could do to pivot your business to where you're still having success without having to work nights and weekends. I hope this video helped you out.